This is Radio Islam International, and we're coming to you today from Benoni, the Astroplex, where the Burj al-Luqluq team is all out in full force for its inaugural game that's taking place here in Benoni with local teams. And it's our great pleasure to open up a window into the life of the youth in Jerusalem, social development, sports in Jerusalem, with Muntasar Itkadik is the executive manager of Burj al-Luqluq Social Center Society that's overseeing this team and this trip. Thank you so much for your time. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Radio Islam.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Great pleasure speaking to you. We want to obviously tear open the different layers to get to know more about your organization, the people who are part of this organization, and also a different take on life within the city of Al-Quds, which is so dear to all of us. Give us an idea, the name itself, I would say it's quite a curious name. If you have to translate it from Arabic, Burj al-Luqluq, it's the stork bird society. So give us the idea, what's the name all about and what's the society all about?
Okay, so Burj al-Luqluq, the Social Center Society, it's a area inside the old city of Jerusalem, in the northeast corner of the wall of Jerusalem. So the Aqsa Mosque in the south area is in the other side in the north area. And Burj al-Luqluq is far 100-meter walking from the gate of the Burj to the gate of the Aqsa Mosque inside the old city. The name, how it came the name. There is a tower, old tower, in the corner of the wall. It's called Burj al-Luqluq, the tower of a stork, the bird stork. The name came from one of the Mamluki leader. His name was Laylak. Laylak means in Turkish, Laqlaq. So he was leading a group of soldiers, and he has a flag with a sign of the stork. So the people gave the name of the tower of the stork, from this leader and the flag of this leader.
Okay, very interesting indeed. And obviously your society has been in existence for how many years? What's the key focal point of your society?
We had a special story started from. In 1991, the Israelis had a plan to build a settlement on the land because it's a only biggest open land inside the old city of Jerusalem. As a Palestinian, when we saw that the Israelis would start working on this settlement, we start fighting, sleeping to improve the owners of the land. And it took us in the beginning 40 days to make the settlers stop their plan, but they kept fighting to build the settlement. So it took us more 7 years in the court till we improved that the ownerships of the land to Jerusalemites families, and we start as a Palestinian organization working in the old city of Jerusalem.
And in terms of the work that you're doing, I understand a lot of it is relating to social development, so empowering people economically, empowering people socially, educationally, sports-wise. Just give us an idea of those programs that you undertake.
We have 3 major projects in Burj al-Luqluq: sport, education, and empowerment. Sport, we're talking about more than 500 children and youth. They are coming to the center daily to have these sessions of football, basketball, taekwondo, judo, parkour, and different other small games like the ping pong, the football, the futsal, and these games. The education, we're working with the children after school. They came to the center, they're doing homeworks, and they want to the sport. And in the other side, we have a kindergarten in the morning, and we have a pottery workshop as a school. It's giving diploma for the students to get diploma in pottery and the works of the pottery. So the last project is the empowerment. Empowerment, we're working with the youth and women to improve the Palestinian identity, to empower the women with different life skills that can support them and open doors for them to make money. And we're working with the youth to focusing on always the Palestinian story for all the places in Palestine, like the cities, the villages, the streets, and everything, since the Israelis changed most of the names and the Palestinian names.
Give us a window, perhaps. You are here with the team of youth from Palestine. For a young man, particularly growing up in the city of Al-Quds, you spoke about living, in the old city or close to the old city, very close by to Masjid al-Aqsa. What's the kind of pressures that a young person has to go through living in that part of the world?
Living in Jerusalem is, as the Prophet Muhammad said, alayhi salatu wassalam, he said, وَهُمْ فِي رِبَاطٍ إِلَى يَوْمِ الدِّينِ. So we will keep fighting till the end of the life. And Jerusalem, especially Jerusalem, it has different situation. We are living under the occupation. It's a daily clashes with the occupation. They're fighting us. They don't want us to keep living in the city. They destroyed even the houses in a reason that they don't have permissions of buildings, and they never give a permission for the people to build. So there is so many stories of racism, of apartheid with the Israelis. But on the other side, we can stand. We are sitting, we are living, and we will keep sitting there because it's our land.
So give me an idea of the young people that are involved, the young people who have accompanied you here to South Africa. What's their kind of lifestyles? What's the kind of daily encounters that they have with the conditions of oppression around them?
They have the daily clashes with the Israelis because they're living in the old city and around the old city. And we know how much the Israelis are trying to bother the people to not keep living in the city and staying in the city. And the ways of the Israelis, the racism ways of separating the city, the services, and so many things. So what they're doing, first of all, they cut Jerusalem to be not easy access for all the Palestinian people living in the West Bank. And for sure they cut it from Gaza from a long time. So the people of Jerusalem only living in Jerusalem. And the Israelis in the last 2-3 years, they became more than the Palestinian in a double number. Because they bring all of them to live in Jerusalem, and they took most of the Palestinians to live in the, let's say, out of the racism wall they built around the wall. So in the end of the day, they have their ways to make the city full of Israeli people and to be empty of Palestinian people. But on the other side, will never happen because we will keep living there.
And the important point that you try to achieve through your center, through empowerment, as you said, it's all about identity. Yes. So I would imagine that you're trying to thwart the educational influences that, if you have to do the other curriculum, you would be forced to, take on a different worldview. And then there's also sometimes allegations that come through that the youth of Jerusalem face a lot of drugs.
Yes.
Is that a big problem as well?
They try to make it a big problem, the Israelis, but we work to stop that, and we success to stop this drug issue in our neighborhood where we're based as an organization. There was between each 5 people, 2 or 3 using drugs. But we worked hard, and today there is 1 or 0. So, but how that's happened? It's happened by the Israelis. They opened the drugs to be the drug sellers to stay safely in the neighborhoods of the city and to sell it without any problems. And if the people announce that there's a drug sellers, they will make themselves don't know and don't care and never stop them.
Tell me now, in terms of the young men who are here in South Africa, is it perhaps for many of them the first time that they've ever traveled out of Palestine, the first time they've potentially gone on a plane and seen many things?
Let me tell you, most of them, they traveled with us. When we took them to other tournament, it was in Spain. But they only have the opportunity to travel with the organization. And it was a dream for them to come to here, to South Africa, because it's so far for them. It's the first point maybe they reach in their life, and they don't know if it's going to be happening again. So the point is, it's a big issue for them. It's a big story and a big achievement.
And from what could be a very sheltered life in Jerusalem, obviously just seeing your daily surroundings, to now seeing the world, seeing South Africa, the pace of life, the different technologies, the way people live, has this been a kind of culture shock for them? How have they responded to everything that they've seen?
We have, the life in Jerusalem, it's like the life in different places in the world. We have everything. There's technology, there is cars, there is transportations. But as we said, we live under the occupation. And these things make a lot of rules. Occupation means rules, means racism, means apartheid in different places. Like, you can't put houses in some locations, you can't live in some locations, you can't work in some locations, you can't have the positions in some locations. So this is the way of the occupied people. This is how they thought. When they occupied you, they want to put their rules, and they want to steal the land, they want to steal everything. Even the businesses, they want to be holding all the businesses. And this is what happened everywhere. And these are the Israelis, and we think it's the last occupation in the world. And it's going to be gone in the future, inshallah.
So these youngsters who are here in South Africa, what was like the most incredible thing that they've experienced in South Africa, or something that really defied their expectations, their perceptions of what the world is or what South Africa would be, and what they've actually seen here in South Africa?
I think what it was defined the expectations as you guys. The way how you treat them, the way how you welcome them, the way how you giving them a real emotions of love and of respect. They was really shocked, and they was really cried when they sitting to talk together. They said they love us more than how much we love ourselves. So the point is, the group here in Johannesburg and the group in Cape Town, they made everything to make them happy. They support everything to make the trip perfectly. So thanks for all of them. Thanks for travelers. Thanks for Li Tawheed. Thanks for everyone about this project.
And the lessons that you'd learn, or the experiences that yourself, Burj al-Luqluq, and the team, these young people, would go back home with to Palestine, how would you feel their lives would be changed, or they would take some lessons or ways of doing things from South Africa that could work back home?
There's a lot of things we saw, we learned from it, and we're gonna pass it to our team in Jerusalem. And the way of hosting, it teaches us a lot. It teaches us how we should behave with our South African people when they came to Jerusalem, and how we should host them there. And I'm telling here from your radio, I'm telling for everyone that all the African brothers from South Africa, they are welcome to come to our organization, to visit it, and to welcoming them there, and to do anything we can help them in Jerusalem.
Indeed. Let me just talk very briefly about the soccer itself. How have the games gone so far? How would you rate your performance? How would you rate the performance of the South African players? Who's in the lead here?
We played one game in Cape Town. It was nice, quiet. There's a lot of people coming to support fans. We win 4-2.
Okay.
It was not like a professional team who's we played with. It was a good team. Our team is good, but not perfect, not professional team. We play in the second league in Palestine.
Okay.
And as I said, it's not our point is the football.
That's football itself.
We're not coming only for football.
You mentioned there the proximity between Burj al-Luqluq and Masjid al-Aqsa. So from your center, can you see the masjid?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can see the masjid.
And I understand that in the month of Ramadan, perhaps other busy times as well, some of your programs, you know, the emergency medical program and so forth, you send volunteers to
Aqsa Mosque. Support the people inside the Aqsa. We have a first aid unit. It's working in Ramadan inside the Aqsa Mosque, and we're supporting the people, the visitors, in a medical checks and falls.
And you also offer tours. I understand that you even, it's something unique that you offer. I mean, I'm mentioning all of this because many South Africans visit, but the importance is to get an authentic local experience, I'd feel. So you'd also offer night tours of the old city of Jerusalem?
Yes, we organized every week a night tour in the old city of Jerusalem. We took the people to see the markets, to see the places, the historical places, the major places in the city. And this is a project never stopped. It's working and working and working.
A person who is living in a certain place, just towards the conclusion, a person who's living there, sometimes you get tired or it becomes familiar. But living in Al-Quds, this beautiful center of Palestine, does your love for the place increase all the time? You know, I just find you talk about the old city, it's a place of mystery. There's so many things to uncover in the city. And then Al-Aqsa, the beauty just multiplies. Just talk to us about that honor of being a resident of Al-Quds.
To be a resident of Al-Quds is to be in love with Al-Quds. Because people don't love Jerusalem, they will never stay in Jerusalem. With these hard situations and the difficulties and the challenges you will face in Jerusalem. So to live there, you should love the place, have a full belief in God and the faith of fighting to stay there.
And lastly, your message to people, this is now building human-to-human relations, you being in South Africa, people visiting Palestine. How do we strengthen this relationship, and how do we ensure that these two, we work together for obviously the success of the Palestinian people?
We want you guys to come to visit Jerusalem. We want you to bring the oil, to light the candles and the lights of the Aqsa Mosque. So come, visit Jerusalem, pray in the city, and keep in touch with the people living there, because they are your brothers and they want your support with these situations.
It's great speaking to you once again. Welcome to South Africa. We hope you enjoy whatever's remaining of the strip, and may these bonds that were fostered in the strip just continue to grow. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And that's Muntasar Itkadik. He's the ex-executive manager of Burj al-Luqluq Social Center Society, speaking to us here on Radio Islam. Thank you for your time.